Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. It is the 17th already of February. We do have students back in school after the 4-day weekend, but we have an accident with no injuries also being reported. 5610 Overseas Highway. That's near the CVS, Stock Island. Please do be careful around that area. That's busy this time anyway with school buses out and about. But an accident, no injuries, 5610 Overseas Highway near CVS Stock Island. Looking at a very nice forecast, so 63 degrees currently, on our way to 78, mostly sunny skies. So it appears that the drought conditions are continuing from a bit of a lack of rain from the rainy season. Still some carryover from that from last year. Low of 70 tonight, mostly clear, high of 80 tomorrow, and sunny. Much the same for the foreseeable future. So we're going to say good morning to Phil Goodman. Phil is the Commissioner, District 2 Board Chair, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Michael, and good morning to your listeners.
And I see that we're talking about drought. I mentioned it earlier. That is one of your key talking points. Local mosquito control counts in the Florida Keys. That can be affected by drought, but let's not get too complacent. Billions of mosquito eggs are being laid. They're awaiting those spring rains, so they'll be on their way.
That's correct. Right now, when, we don't have many soaking rains this time of year, and the rains that we do, since the ground is really dry, it soaks up. And so we don't really see too much mosquito breeding right now from the rains. We do from the high tides. That's the thing that we're watching, because when we have a full moon and we have a really high tide, we have a lot of breeding of mosquitoes taking place during that time, both salt marsh and the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. So, but right now the numbers are low on all of these. But the mosquitoes are out there, like you said. They are laying billions of eggs right now along the edges of our waterways and where rain will eventually get, so that we'll have a lot. We'll see a lot of mosquitoes during the first rains and the high tides in the spring. But right now, mosquitoes are really under good control all up and down the Keys, both the Aedes aegypti and the salt marsh mosquitoes.
Well, you stand at the ready to take care of them when they are starting to hatch, and we'll continue to talk about that. But we are very grateful, and again, let's not get complacent. One of the main reasons we do look to mosquito control for your effectiveness is mosquito-borne diseases that can affect us. Mosquito-borne diseases locally transmitted in the Florida Keys, we have none of those as of recent date. Still increasing numbers in Florida, though. So let's talk about how they get to Florida, and then specifically the dengue fever and chikungunya. Yeah, you're going to help me there.
Chikungunya.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about mosquito-borne diseases in Florida overall.
Mosquito-borne diseases are on the rise worldwide. And, before 1970, there were only about 9 countries where diseases were endemic that were based on the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the vector that we have here. Those diseases are like yellow fever, dengue fever, chikungunya, Zika, and a few others. But since 1970, there's more than 100 countries that these diseases are endemic. And, Miami is a big hub for travel from Central and South America. So people are getting these diseases in these other countries, getting on a plane, coming here, and getting bitten by local mosquitoes in Florida and bringing those diseases in. Right now, we're able to keep those numbers really low in the Keys, so we do not have any local transmission of any mosquito-borne disease in the Keys right now. But Miami still is getting it. They've been constantly having it for the last 10 years. They keep it under fairly good control. Several years there's been over 1,000 cases of imported dengue fever in Miami. Last year it was about 600 cases, so it was down a little bit. But right now, replacing it is another disease called chikungunya, and there were just last week quite a few, I think 27 cases of imported chikungunya in Florida, mostly in Miami. And so it's really going. Dengue is being replaced by chikungunya in a lot of these countries. It's the same mosquito, so and it's the same mosquito that we have here. So we are constantly being vigilant on this, looking for local trend. I mean, for travel-related diseases coming in. We had several last year of dengue fever, travel-related, no local transmission. So what we do when we have the health department notifies us that we have a travel-related case, we go into that neighborhood and we've got a procedure, and we really try to eliminate every mosquito in there. So because we don't want that person to be bitten by an Aedes aegypti to spread it to our mosquito. So that's kind of the prescribed treatment, and we've been very successful with that, keeping it out. But it's constant because. We keep those numbers really low of the Aedes aegypti, but when you have a lot of wind and rain and you're not able to treat, you can get behind. So this is it's a constant threat for us, but one that so far we've been very successful to handle, and we'll continue to work hard to keep the people here in the Florida Keys safe from these diseases.
Yes, and keeping them healthy as well. You've been very successful in so doing. Phil Goodman is the Commissioner of District 2, Board Chair, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. And I did note that chikungunya, I'm still working on my pronunciation there, but it comes from a Kimakande language word meaning that bends up, or that which bends up, referring to severe joint pain caused by chikungunya. That is something we do want to keep at bay and keep out of the Florida Keys for sure.
Yeah, most of these diseases that the Aedes aegypti transmits, the chikungunya, the dengue, Zika, these are really all accompanied by severe bone. In fact, dengue fever is called break bone fever. And because it feels like your bones are breaking, it's very painful, and it lasts usually a couple of weeks. And sometimes the neurological effects can last a lot longer. And so it's really a bad disease. These are really horrific diseases that we want people to, we certainly don't want to experience here in the Florida Keys.
No, sir. Well, Phil, let's also talk about some new chemical technology. And I know that you are very active statewide on a number of different boards, and you'll have to refresh my memory exactly how many positions you're holding down now, in addition to being our board chair for Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. But you have an extensive and impressive background in chemical technology as well. So this is something you can speak firsthand knowledge of, new chemical technology that help us control mosquito-borne diseases. There's some new technology coming this year. Let's talk about that.
That's correct. Last year, the EPA approved the first product that's been approved in over 50 years for controlling adult mosquitoes. And it's really timely because one of the problems we have with the Aedes aegypti mosquito, it's becoming resistant to some of the better chemicals that we use, so making it ineffective. And this is one of the reasons we've been looking for so much new technology, because without technology change within the next few years, it may be difficult to fight an epidemic of one of these diseases because our chemicals are not effective. Now that's not the case right now, but we're being proactive. And there was a new chemical approved by the EPA late last year, and was approved by the Florida Agriculture Department, which regulates chemicals for pesticides in the state. And we just approved it ourselves for use in the Florida Keys just really a couple of months ago for use for truck spraying, and we will begin using it this year. And the Aedes aegypti, there is no resistance to it. It's based on some new chemistry, and so we hope this will be a real improvement for us to be able to continue to keep the Aedes aegypti under control. Starting out, it'll be used only in trucks. We hope to approve it this year for use in our aerial missions as well. But, we'll have to go through a series of tests to be sure that this is what we're looking for. It does the job that we need. And it will also give us a third product that we can rotate in our trucks, because right now there's only two products that we can use to rotate in our trucks. And we have to rotate these also to keep resistance down. because if you spray a chemical too much, it's the mosquito becomes resistant to it. And we don't have that many new technologies because mosquito control market is a relatively small market worldwide. It's about $1 billion market from the chemical standpoint, and that's not really enough to attract a lot of attention for new developments in mosquito control technology for pesticides, because the cost to get through the EPA is millions, to get a product approved. And so most of the products that we have in the past have come through the agricultural market, which that market is huge, and then they are adapted to mosquito control, the ones that are adaptable. So this is really new. We're excited about it, and like I say, it gives us a new dimension this next year. So you'll be hearing more about this product. It's called Remora Tri.
Okay, well, your Bachelor of Science from North Carolina State University is still being put to good use. I can tell you that. That's
Thank you.
As well as your MBA and other accolades to your name. So we appreciate your expertise and understanding of these issues. And in March, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District meeting. I'm sorry. It's going to be a February meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Marathon headquarters. Anybody can watch it live streaming. The website to go there, keysmosquito.org. And let's talk about some workshops you'll be discussing.
Yeah. Tomorrow's our February meeting, and we have a lot of things on the agenda, but probably the most interesting thing right now for us is our workshop that we're having on a technology that's new for us, is LIDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. I've spoken a little bit about it on your program in the past, but this last year we had a lot of new breeding sites because of rising tides, particularly in the lower keys and the upper keys. A lot of new breeding sites, and last year we had quite a few. Normally we have just a few new breeding sites, and it's not a problem to find these. But we had so many this year, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. And these breeding sites are only active for about a week, and you can get just billions of mosquitoes coming off, and if you don't find it, you can have a mosquito problem. And this is one of the things that affected us last year, particularly early in the season. And so LIDAR technology is it stands for Light Detection and Ranging. It's basically a camera that affixes to the bottom of your helicopter or drone, and it's a mapping program that uses lasers to actually map the topography and changes of the topography. And it's not new technology, but it's new for mosquito control, because you can actually use this and go over, and when you're flying over mangroves and a lot of dense foliage, you can actually depict where water is, standing water underneath there. So this is a big improvement for us to help us find these new breeding sites. And at our workshop tomorrow, we have some specialists from Lee County Mosquito Control. Lee County, Collier County, and Manatee County started using this technology last year because they saw this ahead of us, the need, because the hurricanes up the west coast of Florida kind of changed the topography the last few years, and they saw a lot of breeding sites. So they started using it for this, and now we think we can use this also for what we see here in the Florida Keys. So we'll be getting a lot of expert advice tomorrow, and the board will make a decision about how we want to go with this. But I think we will probably go in one form or another with this that will help us this particular season find these breeding sites. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, well, new technologies continue to be deployed by the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District, really leading the way, and we have a lot of other statewide entities and nationally, internationally, who kind of follow our lead here as we forge ahead with new technologies to continue to control mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases. Phil Goodman, Commissioner, District 2 Board Chair, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. And finally, Phil, again, I had alluded to the fact that you're very active on a statewide level in leadership roles. We have Tallahassee now have 3 different versions of budgets that hopefully will come together. Are we continuing to see the support that we need in terms of funding and making mosquito control a priority on the state level?
Yes, I think so. When we were in Tallahassee 2 weeks ago and met with all of our legislators there. And, everyone was very concerned when you look at cutting back on property taxes. Everybody likes to save tax money, and we do too. But, we also have to be funded, and mosquito control is such a critical part to our economy here and our way of life and our quality of life that we want to be sure that we got funding. And I think everybody agrees that mosquito control is such an important thing here that if they do make changes in property taxes, I think mosquito control, like the school system and like some other critical services, will be taken care of. So I'm not overly concerned about it now, but we went up there really prepared to be sure that we were loaded for bear, actually, to be sure that people understood the criticalness of mosquito control, because it's something that a lot of people forget about, because mosquitoes have been under pretty good control, in the Florida Keys for a number of years, and people forget how bad, or I really don't know how bad it was before mosquito control and how bad it could be without it. And there's really no difference in the number of mosquitoes in the Everglades than there are in the Florida Keys. The only difference is our mosquito control. And so we want to be sure people remember that we live in a tropical climate, and 2/3 of our county is the Florida Everglades. So, and we are an area of state critical concern, which also makes us one of the most unique counties in the state. Which also includes mosquito control, because not only controlling mosquitoes but protecting our environment is really top priority. And sometimes you have to achieve a balance between mosquito control and protecting the environment, and we're always looking for that proper balance. So I think things in Tallahassee, I think will work out okay for mosquito control.
Good. Well, you did a tremendous job last year going around to different organizations and emphasizing the economic impact that mosquito control has on our economy and has over many years, and just showing maps of before mosquito control versus after, maps of Florida and the like. Really was a pretty dramatic demonstration as to the impact that mosquito control does have for our way of life, our culture, our economy, and the list goes on and on. So I'm glad to hear that Tallahassee also receives that message and seems to understand it.
Yeah, I think so. And another thing that I think is important is, the Florida Keys, we are a world leader. We're a world-class mosquito control. And there's, Collier County, Lee County, and the Florida Keys, we are really the leaders in the technology for mosquito control in the state of Florida, and also the country, and also in the world. When you look at developments that have been taking place, new technologies in the last 75 years, it's mostly been in one of these three areas, either by, for, or with Florida Keys or Collier County or Lee County. And people ask me, why so much technology here? And Willie Sutton was a famous bank robber from the 1930s, and he was interviewed and asked, why did he rob banks? And he said, because, that's where the money is. So really, why the technology is in the South Florida, this is where the mosquitoes are, and this is where we really need this technology. So it's really working, and, we want to be sure people recognize, the advantages of mosquito control, because there's also a big part they can play in helping us control mosquitoes, particularly the disease-carrying mosquitoes.
Yeah, no standing water, get rid of tires, holding water, all of those things. We can all take part, but we have very smart people understanding and implementing the technology, such as yourself. We appreciate all that you do in your leadership role and all that everybody in Mosquito Control District does for us. Again, Phil Goodman, Commissioner, District 2, Board Chair, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. I think we've covered the topics for today, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope you have a good day, and good day to your listeners.
Indeed. A good day to you too, sir. Thanks for being here. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Phil Goodman, Commissioner, District 2, Board Chair, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. On Good Morning Keys, we will return with more Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
The gigantic nautical market at Founders Park in Isla Mirada is back this weekend. The Keys Deck and Dock Supply Gigantic Nautical Market, presented by the Pool Spa Billiard Store and produced by the Upper Keys Rotary, is back with more than 350 vendors selling everything from hooks and rods, nautical clothing, and artwork to full boat packages. You won't walk away hungry either, with 20 food trucks spread around the park with a variety of taste-tempting offerings to satisfy your cravings. There's something for the entire family. They call it a boat show with a beach and a playground. Bring the entire family for this amazing weekend. Park at Coral Shores High School and use the free shuttle. This Saturday, 8 to 5 and Sunday, 9 to 3. Check out the Rotary Nautical Market on Facebook, Instagram, or on the website, keysrotary.org. That's keysrotary.org. The gigantic nautical market at Founders Park, mile marker 87 this weekend. See you there.
The hottest spot in the Keys to tantalize your taste buds is Central Duval, featuring 3 locations built for the local community and also welcoming new friends warmly. First, get ready for the ultimate Key West experience at the Key West Emporium, 618 Duval Street. It's the largest and most versatile spot in town, with mouth-watering food and island-inspired cocktails from Key West's top-ranked restaurant, Kaya Island Eats. Next, check out Dragon and Rooster at 626 Duval Street, bringing the vibrant, bold flavors of Asia to the heart of Key West. Grab a quick bowl of ramen or indulge in their thoughtfully curated prefix tasting menu. Every visit promises to be an adventure for your senses. And Docks on Duval, 702 Duval Street, is a toast to Old Key West with a twist of cowboy charm. Savory barbecue, southern-inspired favorites, and fresh local seafood await inside a family-friendly restaurant. Hit up one of these great establishments or try all 3. Good times and great food await at Central Duval.
Hey folks, Stephen Bender at Keys Auto Center, where every new Toyota and Ford is backed by the Keys Local Deal Match Guarantee. Tacoma, Tundra, RAV4, F-150, and Bronco, all protected by a guarantee built for the Keys. Confidence comes standard from the people you know, like, and trust at 1618 North Roosevelt Boulevard or KeysAutoCenter.com. We've got the keys. Everybody needs here at Keys Auto Center.
Magnum Broadcasting at Keys Auto Center back the blue, recognizing outstanding law enforcement personnel in Monroe County.
This month, we commend Deputy Casey Matthews. On January 5th, Deputy Matthews responded with Fire Rescue 26 to a report of an elderly female who was discovered on the floor of her residence. The housekeeper of the residence found the female lying on the floor, stating she had last seen her days earlier in good health. Deputy Matthews then discovered blood, which appeared old, and that the female's refrigerator door was left slightly open with the food warm. He then realized the female may have fallen days prior and might have hit her head on the floor. Deputy Matthews' discovery set in motion additional questions by medics on the scene, who transported the female to a regional hospital outside Monroe County for a possible head injury. The next day, the female was transported to another hospital for treatment of not 1, but 2 brain bleeds. Deputy Matthews' outstanding observations and investigation skills allowed for the best treatment care and positive outcome for this elderly female. Deputy Casey Matthews, the Back the Blue Officer of the Month. Congratulations from Magna Broadcasting and Keys Auto Center.
Good morning, Keys, on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Good morning, Keys. We did have an accident earlier. We were talking about, let's see it. Is still there? No, it's been cleared. That's good. Stock Island is not a good place to have an accident at this time of the morning, and it looks like it has been cleared near CVS, so we'll count that as good news. No injuries being reported. 66 degrees, 78 will be your high. We're going to say good morning to Nikki, the nurse practitioner. Congratulations.
Good morning,
to you.
Michael.
Hi there.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Your title got longer.
My title did get longer.
Yes, but your schooling and your training and your experience is also long and vast. So congratulations to you, Nikki, the nurse practitioner. A lot of hard work went into that title, and boy, you are quite the source to talk to. I am ever so humbled. So good to talk to you.
Oh, good to talk to you too.
Yeah,
so
we're going to talk medical matters with Nikki, the nurse practitioner from the Key West Surgical Group. She is part of the wonderful team there with Dr. Rhoda Smith, providing years and years of expertise and compassionate and expert care close to home. And we're going to get pretty close now talking about colonoscopies versus stool testing. Breakfast talk here this morning. So we're going to talk what it's necessary. Yes.
Yes. I'm bringing this up. I know we just talked about, I think I went over colon cancer, colorectal cancer a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And as you know, Catherine O'Hara and James Van Der Beek just passed away from colorectal cancer. James Van Der Beek being only 48 years old.
Oh, yeah.
So
wasn't it Katie Couric's husband? Is that who that
husband
was?
died?
That brought a lot of attention back a number of years ago. People have passed away at a young age. By the way, this is not necessarily related, but we do want to pause for a moment at the passing of Jesse Jackson. Passed away last night, 84 years of age. So a historic figure that we wanted to recognize. Yep. So,
I didn't even realize. I didn't get that this morning. Yikes.
Yeah, it is befitting. Just a quick aside during Black History Month that his passing is going to be memorialized. He actually was with Dr. Martin Luther King the night that he was assassinated. He marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in, a number of different rallies back at the height, et cetera. Long history there of equal rights movement. So anyway, his passing occurred last night at the age of 84. His cause of death has not yet been revealed that I know of. Anyway, but let's get back to our topic. Just wanted to make mention of that. Colonoscopy versus stool testing. So what is the difference? We've talked about colonoscopies and the need for it, but let's talk about the difference here.
So I bring this up because there is a difference between the two, and people who are afraid of colonoscopies, they want to do stool testing, which is the FIT testing or the Cologuard. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to bring to light the differences between the three. So we're talking about, colon cancer screening, obviously. Colorectal cancer is one of the most preventable cancers when caught early, and screening now starts at age 45. And it's amazing to me, people still don't know that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, it's something that is not well known. Like a couple of, usually we go to the health fair every year for the city.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people are over the age of 45 and they're like, oh, I have till 50. No, you don't. And it's just people in general. I've talked to people, I'm like, have you had your colonoscopy? And they're like, no, it's 50. I'm like, no, it is now 45.
And so for some people then even wait till they think they have symptoms. So
that is correct. Yeah. They think because they don't have symptoms that they're okay, or because they don't have a family history, they're okay. Mm-hmm. That's not how it works. But nope. Why is screening such a big deal? Because most colon cancers start, and we talked about this before, small growths called polyps. Yeah. They are silent for years. So if you get screening regularly, we could find them early enough, remove them before they become cancer.
Mm-hmm. So not just detecting cancer, but what about preventing cancer then?
That's it. That's what makes colon cancer screening unique. We actually can stop the cancer before it starts. So those polyps don't necessarily start as cancer. They start as benign growths. We've talked about them. There's two different types. There's a hyperplastic polyp and the adenoma. And the adenoma is the one that can turn into cancer if left in there for a long time.
Okay. Key West Surgical Group bringing you Nikki, the nurse practitioner with Medical Matters. And Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa, exceptional care close to home, 3134 Northside Drive, Key West. Their phone number, 305-294-1041, keywestsurgicalgroup.com online. Blending the advances of modern medicine with classic care. And I know you've been busy there. Dr. Smith has been quite busy with surgeries ongoing, but also performing a lot of colonoscopies. Let's talk about what the colonoscopy is. It's the gold standard, they say.
Right. And that's when, we've talked about this before, the doctor uses a thin, flexible camera to look directly into your colon. Mm-hmm. So it can see if there are any polyps, if there's any abnormalities. If you're bleeding, we talked about anemia. Colonoscopy is one of the tests they will if you have anemia and they don't know why you're losing, there's blood loss. They will go up with the camera and they will look to make sure, nothing's wrong. And if the polyps are there, they will remove them right then and there and send them out for pathology. That way they're not left in there. And if they're the bad polyp, as the adenoma, the one that can turn into cancer, it will be removed early enough, and then you're good to go for 3 to 5 years is the recommended follow-up. 3 years if you have adenomas, 5 years if you have hyperplastic polyps. But
Well, so yeah, it really is the gold standard. It's the preventative measure for colon cancer. It starts with the colonoscopy, and that even starts with the day of prep. We've talked about that before. It's not great, but it's necessary. And then they sedate you, and you have a nice sleep, and you wake up, and you find out what's going on with your colon. And it's definitely diagnostic and preventative at the same time. And you don't need another colonoscopy for a while, as we talked about. Stool testing, then, we hear about stool testing, Nikki. So what is it? Is it sufficient? What is the stool testing consists of?
So people tend to like to do these because you can do them in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
You collect a stool sample and you like literally send it in the mail to the lab. So it's, we've talked about this before with the prep. I really think it's the prep. It's the day of prep, which is what keeps people from going for the colonoscopy. It's not actually the colonoscopy itself. So people tend to like to do this because it's easy. You take a sample and you send it away. So there are two types that the two main types that look for cancer in your stool. The FIT test looks for hidden blood in the stool. So basically that's going to detect if you have any blood in your stool, just like it says. And if you do, then you're going to have a colonoscopy. The stool DNA test, which is also known as the Cologuard, looks for blood plus abnormal DNA shed by cancer cells. So if you do that again, and that comes out positive, you're going to need a colonoscopy. Now, this one brings a little bit more anxiety because it is looking for that DNA shed of cancer cells. So people that tend to do this and have a positive, they freak out a little bit because the FIT test just detects blood. The DNA test just detects like cancer cells. So, but regardless, if you get a positive for both of them, you're going to end up being referred for a colonoscopy. And just so you know, then it is no longer a screening procedure. It is a diagnostic procedure. And depending on how your insurance covers, you will have a copay.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Just keep that in the back of your mind.
So advance directly
to that route.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So advance directly to colonoscopy if they find something.
Right.
So stool testing is not necessarily the end all either. Again, we're speaking with Nikki, the nurse practitioner from the Key West Surgical Group and Med Spa, which is bringing you a superior level of health care to the residents and visitors of Key West and Florida Keys. For many years, dedicated to blending unparalleled expertise and uncompromising surgical care with a warm, friendly atmosphere in the state-of-the-art facility. All very true. Let's do a comparison of the stool testing versus the colonoscopy then.
So like we said, the colonoscopy, it looks at the entire colon, removes the polyps immediately, therefore decreasing your risk of them turning into cancer. And if you do not have any polyps whatsoever, you do not need another colonoscopy for 10 years. So if you're polyp-free, you don't need another colonoscopy for 10 years. Now, if in that 10 years you have some irregular symptoms like irregular bowel movements, constipation, diarrhea, bleeding, you may need a colonoscopy in between that time. But if you are symptom-free and have no polyps, it's 10 years.
Okay.
One of, like we talked about, the things that deter people away from this route initially is because it requires a prep and you can't eat that day, and then you're in the bathroom part of the day. But the sedation, like you said, you take a happy little nap. That's probably the best part of the whole thing.
I still, and again, the prep, it's a day of being uncomfortable versus, the rest of your life. Come on.
Right, having cancer. Yeah, I mean, it really, truly is one day.
Yeah.
One day to do something to prevent, cancer. So
yeah. So I have a hard time accepting that excuse. Anyway,
right.
but you know, some people don't like the discomfort, but do it for the betterment of yourself. The stool tests appear to be easier, et cetera. But if they find something, you're
Right.
going to the colonoscopy anyway. So
Right. So stool tests, obviously convenient, can be done at home. There is no prep for them. There's no sedation needed. But the FIT test must be done yearly.
Hmm.
And the DNA test is every 3 years. So, you know, that's something to think about too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, if positive, you're going to end up with a colonoscopy anyway. And you're going to go into the colonoscopy, like I said, a little bit more nervous because now it's positive.
Yeah.
So, you know, the stool tests don't detect whether you have polyps or not. And I know I've said this before. So you may have a negative stool test, but all that's looking for is blood and cancer cells, right? It's not, you don't know if you have polyps or not.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, and it's necessary to find those polyps to prevent the cancer and prevent them from turning into cancer. So if you have, you likely need a colonoscopy if you have a family history of colon cancer, rectal bleeding, iron deficiency anemia. We've talked about these, unexplained weight loss, prior polyps. Then really, you know, the stool sample,
Right.
stool test is not going to do it for you. So again, Medical Matters brought to you by the Key West Surgical Group and Incorporated and Med Spa, with Nikki, the nurse practitioner, and Dr. Rhoda Smith with exceptional care close to home, 3134 Northside Drive in Key West. So screenings save lives.
Screenings do save lives, and colon cancer, like I said, is often silent in the beginning. Whether, you know, and I do tell this to people because people are adamant about not having a colonoscopy, but they will do a FIT test or a DNA test, and that's, at least you're choosing something, you're doing something to try and prevent it. So, I mean, whichever route you choose, I'd rather you choose one or the other as opposed to doing nothing. So know that if you're 45 or older or have risk factors, you need to talk to your provider because it is time for you at, 45 or older is the recommended age for colonoscopy. And then family history is another thing. So if you have a relative that was diagnosed fairly young with colon cancer, you probably need to be screened a little bit sooner. So make sure you talk to your provider about that. This isn't an embarrassment. It's about prevention and longevity. And I mean, I know it's not a fun topic.
Well, you know, but it's a necessary topic, and it is about saving lives and getting people better. And that's what Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa does and has done for many years. Here, I'm going to quickly take an aside and combine breakfast talk with stool talk. And it just came to mind that my grandmother used to insist that if you have diarrhea, that you need to eat severely burnt toast. Is there anything to that? Could you figure out why that would be the case, or did she just burn toast on a regular basis and tell us that we had to eat
it? That's interesting.
Charcoal? I don't know.
When you have an upset stomach, they put you on the brat diet, which is bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. It doesn't necessarily have to be burnt.
She said that the diarrhea could be cured by severely burnt toast, like charcoal. There was that.
Well, charcoal does have a purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was also Coca-Cola syrup for nausea. My dad, the physician, used to get it, I think, by prescription, just the syrup.
Just the syrup. Yeah, I've heard that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
These old wives' tales. I would recommend going to the Key West Surgical Group and Med Spa with your questions, and not to my grandmother, but it's exceptional care close to home, 3134 Northside Drive in Key West. Anyway, you know what? By the way, I did not mention this to you, but another quick aside, we're actually going to be moving Good Morning Keys also to Zoom and also on the TV station, Keys Living TV, channel 27. It'll be running at 11 a.m. in the morning. So you can maybe get your glow on, and we're going to put you on TV with your consent for Medical Matters. So, yeah.
I'll have to look prepared and ready.
Well, yeah, and then also you can show off all of your procedures that you've been doing upon yourself and then on others with the aesthetics at the Key West Surgical Group and Med Spa. How exciting.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, so 3 laser technologies available exclusively at Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa that can be combined with all different kinds of attributes, also with RF microneedling that can create all kinds of positive effects on your looks and how you feel.
Yes, absolutely. We have 3 lasers and the RF microneedling. We are having an open house.
That's right.
On March 12th. On March 12th from 5 to 7 at 3134 Northside Drive. There will be a live demo. There'll be some light snacks and refreshments. So please stop by so you can see all our devices in action. The plan is right now I'm going to try and do demos on all of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yep.
So, prosciutto, prosecco, and lasers.
Yes.
Excellent. That's great. Perfect. March 12th. We will look forward to that. Call for your free consultation, by the way. Set up that appointment to find out how you can certainly take advantage of advanced aesthetics and, definitely feel great about how you look and feel. 305-294-1041, Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa. Nikki, the nurse practitioner, speaking with us, and Dr. Rhoda Smith, always at the ready to take care of your health with the most advanced techniques and unparalleled expertise as well. So, Nikki, thank you so much for all the clarity again here this morning in Medical Matters. Anything else we should mention?
Nope, that's it. I think we're good for this week.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. And congratulations again on your accomplishments. We look forward to talking to you very soon.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care. Nikki, the nurse practitioner, with us from the Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa, 3134 Northside Drive in Key West. Exceptional care close to home. KeyWestSurgicalGroup.com online. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We'll be back in a moment.
Key West authentic Irish pub, dining, and rooftop lounge is Celtic Conch Public House, 528 Front Street. The Celtic Conch always features delicious Irish cuisine and tasty pub grub with more than 40 Irish whiskeys, specialty cocktails, and local drafts. Ask about their daily food specials, including kids 12 and under eat free on Wednesdays when ordering from the kids menu with adult purchase of at least $25. Limit 2 children per adult, dine-in only. Plus, the best in live entertainment. Monday, Milo plays from 5 to 8, then it's Dean Dunlevy from 8 to 11. Tuesday, it's trivia from 6 to 9, and Corey Hill is live from 6:30 to 9:30. Wednesday features Just George from 8 to 11. Thursday, Milo is back from 4 to 7, and Dave Mittenberg takes over from 8 to 11. Friday, Dean Dunlevy returns from 5 to 8, and then Milo entertains from 8 to 11. Saturday, come back for Dave Mittenberg from 5 to 8, then Just George from 8 to 11. Celtic Conch Public House, 528 Front Street, Key West. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Sláinte.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold, delicious ground coffee, always brewing, and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now, Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in store with 24 hours advance notice. Enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. Old Town Bakery, KeyWest.com.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call us for free information at 1-800-558-5497. Again, 1-800-558-5497.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Good morning. The 17th of February already. Checking traffic. No major incidents to report up and down US 1. That report complements Monroe County Sheriff's Office. We did have an accident on Stock Island a little earlier with no injuries, thankfully, but that has been cleared. School is back in session today, though, after a 4-day weekend. President's Day yesterday, of course, but they're back at it today. We're going to say good morning to Daniel Sammis. He's president and CEO of the Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Daniel.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. So kids back in school, things are back to normal somewhat here. By the way, I had mentioned to Nikki, the nurse practitioner earlier, Jesse Jackson passing last night. So that's this occasion we wanted to make a note of. And certainly remember him and his legacy as well. So, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Indeed. So we've got a busy time here with the Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce, sometimes you would call it a programming note in the biz, but the luncheon, the member luncheon for this month has been moved to accommodate a special presentation with a special speaker that has a lot to impart upon members of the Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce regarding tourism.
That's right. Yep, absolutely, Michael. I'm really excited to have Brian Griffin, who's the CEO for Visit Florida. And Visit Florida, again, is the state of Florida's tourism arm, an organization that is tasked with promoting Florida to the world and also supporting all of the TDCs like the Florida Keys and Key West, Visit Florida Keys TDC that we have here in Monroe County. So really excited to have Brian down here. Kudos to Kara and the team with our TDC for getting him down here. And we were really fortunate to get Brian scheduled to speak at our luncheon, which will be on February 26th. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday over at Faro Blanco Resort in their conference room. So that'll be a nice catered lunch. And we're hoping we'll pack the place full. And Brian's going to talk about tourism. And what's cool is, again, he'll be able to give us a little bit more of a statewide and global kind of perspective, but also talk about all the tools and resources Visit Florida offers, not only just TDCs, but actual businesses too, whether you own a water sports business, bike rental, boat rental, anything that has to do with tourism. That's our number one economic driver. It's our number one employer within the state, and of course here in the Florida Keys as well. So it's a big deal, and we're excited to have Brian down on the 26th.
Excellent. Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce, speaking with Daniel Sammis, President and CEO of Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce. And the Chamber of Commerce does a lot to promote tourism and also creates a reason for tourists to come here each and every year, which is the Marathon Seafood Festival. The 50th Annual Marathon Seafood Festival is happening this year. It is the second largest Florida Keys event, over 15,000 attendees, and that grows every year. This year is going to be bigger and better than ever. And a thank you to Fission-Bah Hotwire Communications. They are very community involved, and they are a major sponsor of this year's Original Marathon Seafood Festival.
Yep, that's right. Absolutely. Hotwire Communications, Fission are our title sponsor this year. So kudos to Marcelo and Margarita and the gang there. And they do a great job, like you said, supporting the community and obviously our 50th annual Marathon Seafood Festival. So excited to have them as our title sponsor. Also folks like the Keys Weekly newspapers and even Marathon Bike Works, Horizon Bank, First State Bank, so many of our other sponsors, Free Press, that do a lot for us in the community and really help the event, which helps the community. We give a lot back with scholarships and grants and donations. But like you said, too, all about heads and beds, Michael, bringing visitors here to our great community so they can experience the Original Marathon Seafood Fest and its 50th year anniversary, and also experience Marathon in the Middle Keys and the Florida Keys. And that's creates such a nice win-win. When I run all the numbers and data each year, Michael, it's always fun for me to do that, to kind of show a real more of an overall economic impact when you add in what visitors spend on average per day per person, which we have that data thanks to our wonderful folks at the TDC. It comes out to anywhere from $6 to $8 million a year just from the Marathon Seafood Festival alone. And that's not just anything they're spending at the Seafood Fest. That's overall staying in local resorts and places, eating at restaurants, going to the attractions, our local attractions, going fishing, anything and everything they do. And it comes back to us and it circulates throughout the community, those dollars. So it's a win-win. And we love to be kind of part of that process with the event and showcasing fresh seafood, a lot of great local vendors. And a lot of our vendors come from outside of the Keys and stay in hotels as well. And then we have a lot of local vendors that want to showcase their products or services. And we still do have a few booth spaces open because we will fill those up. There's close to 200 of them. So give us a call at the chamber and get with Erica, who does a great job with that in our office. And just call 305-743-5417. And she'll take good care of you if you're still looking for a vendor spot. And still need volunteers too, because it's like a small village, as you know, to put these events on. And we're talking probably 150 to 200 plus volunteers easy throughout the weekend that just really do such a great job to help serve food, beer, wine, all kinds of good stuff. And again, because they know that it's a great event and that it helps the community and they love to be part of it. So if you want to volunteer, they're 4-hour shifts. Call that same number, 305-743-5417, and get a hold of us and we'll get you a shift. You get a free event t-shirt and free admission the day you volunteer. So it's about a 3 or 4 hour shift. So if you want after that, you can then go play and hang or come early or stay late or come back again the same day and you will not be charged admission. So it's a cool win-win.
That is a win-win. And the festival overall is a win-win for the community as well, putting over $60,000 back into the community in terms of charitable contributions, et cetera, all of which help with scholarships for deserving students in our community through the Chamber of Commerce.
That's right, Michael. Yep, absolutely. We love that statistic, that number between the Marathon Chamber and Organized Fishermen of Florida, who is our partner with the events. They started it 50 years ago
in the former now the Publix parking lot. But
that's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Where Publix never was before they were there. In that same location though, and it was a Marathon Bank, I believe, was there. And then now years later, Publix. But yeah, it just started as a humble kind of get together of all the commercial guys and then their families, cooking up whatever they caught, a bunch of mahi, even mullet. And then they brought some crab and other stuff and lobster. And it kind of just started kind of catching fire as far as other people like, hey, I want to go to that. That sounds really fun. A big fish fry, then people started, I'm sure, bringing some beer and other good stuff. And then all of a sudden, some years later, they said, we can't really fit anymore in this little area. So let's talk to the airport folks. Maybe we could have it at the west end of the airport. And that's where it there then was for a good decade plus until, or more than that, until 2007, we moved it over to our Marathon Community Park because the city incorporated in 99 and then built the park and added the amphitheater, which was kind of perfect for events like ours. And we've been there ever since. And that's our home. And we're fortunate to, really partner with the city of Marathon and George Garrett and the crew there, do such a good job. And Scott Williamson with Parks and Rec and Hammer with Public Works, are all just, stewards of that facility and of our community too. And it's another example of public-private partnerships working together for the betterment of our community.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Sammis, President, CEO, Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce, talking about the 50th annual Original Marathon Seafood Festival coming up March 14th and 15th. On the 14th from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, and it is chock full of fresh Florida Keys seafood, mouth-watering beverages, over 200 vendors of all types, a boat show, live entertainment. Marshall Morlock Band will be back again, Uncle Rico and others from throughout South Florida and beyond, all for just $5 a person. And you can purchase admission tickets online at marathonseafoodfestival.com or at the door. Kids under 12 are free. Plenty of fun family activities. There's so much to be mentioned here. about the 50th Original Marathon Seafood Festival, but it's almost here. So make sure that you make your plans to be there all weekend long.
That's right. Yeah, and you hit on some of the entertainment. Really proud about that, Michael. We have Amber Lee and her band coming back, which, if you kind of know, she hasn't played the Seafood Fest probably in a good 5 to 8 years, maybe. She just, to her credit, got too big, moved to Nashville, had was under a contract for a recording contract, and has been touring all around the country and the world. And we got her back. Reached out to her, thanks to John Bardis, who helps with a lot of our stage and entertainment stuff, and Lynn Brooks. And yeah, Amber and her band are really excited to come back for the 50th. So they're going to close out Saturday night for us. So definitely got to be there for that. And then we're really excited. They haven't been back for a few years. We're bringing Igor and the Red Elvises back, and
cool.
They're going to close out Sunday night for us. And if you know them, they bring a ton of energy, kind of funkiness, alternative rock, and Russian Siberian rock, as they call it too. And he's just a real crowd favorite. And then, like you said, Marshall Morlock, and we got some, got Island Vibe again if you want a little good reggae mix in there, and we'll have Fuego Soul, some good Latin and jazz and stuff. So it's a real good eclectic mix that's gonna play the festival. So marathonseafoodfestival.com is the website, and you could find the whole entertainment lineup there, as well as parking, other information. You could even buy your entrance tickets online now, and there's no fees for that. And just pay the $5 and we'll scan you right when you get to the door, so to speak, if you don't want to bring as much cash, or you just want to get in quicker. It's a great way to do that, and that's new for us this year. So yeah, March 14th, 15th, come on by, listen to some good live music, and eat some good seafood, wash it down with a cold beer or mimosa, a glass of wine, or a Bloody Mary, whatever you like.
Excellent. Well, it is a terrific weekend, but it's almost here. March 14th and 15th, the 50th Original Marathon Seafood Festival coming to Marathon Community Park all weekend long. It is presented by the Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce and the Commercial Fishermen of Florida, the Marathon chapter. And any other sponsors we should mention besides Hotwire and Fission that we should give credit to?
Oh yeah, like I said, Marathon Bike Works is one of our top sponsors. The Keys Weekly newspapers, the Free Press, of course, First Horizon Bank, Centennial Bank. We have just so many amazing sponsors, and we list them all on the website there. First State Bank of the Florida Keys, Hawks Cay Resort, Isla Bella Beach Resort, as well. Ferro Blanco and Ferro Blanco Marina is another great sponsor of ours. So yeah, so many to thank. It's tough to do. And then even individuals, again, like Randy Mearns with Marathon Sign and Electric, Bill Kelly with Kelly Electric too, that do so much for us. John Bardis again, Marathon City and City Council are big supporters, and even our, County Commission and the TDC, of course, because we do get some event funding from our lovely, amazing TDC and our DAC 3 that awards that funding, that's just made up of local business owners and executives in the tourism industry. Vicky Tashin chairs that. So yeah, like I said, it's such a community effort, Michael. It's almost like thanking the entire community and everyone because they all play a role in Marathon's, biggest and longest standing local event that does so much for the community. So we're hoping to see everybody out there for another good, successful event, March 14th and 15th. And then again, even before that, next Thursday, we hope to see everybody at Ferro Blanco for our membership luncheon. If you're a chamber member, give us a call again and get RSVP'd for the luncheon. And if you're not a member, of course, give us a call and inquire about that. We'd love to give you more info and talk about all the benefits of being a member of the Marathon Chamber, because it's our job to serve our local businesses and educate them, support them, refer them, promote them. And we do that in so many cool ways. And we love to talk about that, to show the return on investment, the ROI, right, as you call it, and to make sure that it's a good, and Michael, not to blow smoke, of course, but you guys too, with Keys Talk, with you and Diane, that do so much for the event, and absolutely as one of our top sponsors as well, with what you guys do just through your radio stations, putting out the public service announcements for volunteers and such means a lot to us. And you guys are always there on site as well, talking it up and talking about important issues, that affect our community, and, keeping everyone in the know and entertained with good music. So you guys are a huge part of that as well, brother. And we definitely appreciate, more so your wife, but you too, Michael.
Yeah, she's the much better half, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I'm just riding her coattails. What can I tell you? But
hey, same here. Same here.
I get it. Well, thank you for those thanks, but it is our humble pleasure to do so. We certainly want to serve our communities as best we can, and serve the Marathon Chamber of Commerce, because you do such a great job giving back to the community and contributing to our way of life here ongoing. So thank you, thank you very much, Daniel, for all that you do. Go to FloridaKeysMarathon.com to learn more about the Marathon Chamber of Commerce and the 50th original Marathon Seafood Festival, March 14th and 15th. With that, Daniel, I'm sure you've got plenty of other things to get to. We've only got a few weeks yet till the festival.
Yeah, don't scare me, but you're right. The countdown is definitely upon us. What we look forward to. And again, for everybody listening, of course, just shoot us a call for however you want to get involved, even if it's just info so you can come in and just have a good time. But if you want to be a vendor, a volunteer, even a sponsor still, it's definitely not too late. Give us a call, 305-743-5417 for all seafood festival stuff and or Chamber of Commerce and all that good stuff too, like you said. So thank you so much for having me, Michael.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day. We will see you very soon.
All right. See you soon. Take care, guys.
Daniel Sammis, he is president, CEO of Greater Marathon Chamber of Commerce on Good Morning Keys. Great time for a bakery break, by the way, down in Old Town, Key West, with the Old Town Bakery, with cookies, brownies, pastries, fresh baked breads, and now quiche available by the slice. Ham and cheese quiche, spinach, feta quiche. Lovely. It is delectable. You can get a whole pie. Just give them 24 hours notice. Pick up a gift card for someone you really want to show some appreciation to. Pick that up at the store as well. You can order online, Old Town Key West, OldTownBakeryKeyWest.com. Make that OldTownBakeryKeyWest.com. Take your dog for your visit, and they'll get bacon as well. They're going to love it. They start baking at 1 a.m. each and every morning just for you, and you will taste the difference. Fresh brewed coffee as well. Make sure you go and check out the award-winning key lime pie and other pies as well. It's all Old Town Bakery at the corner of Eaton and Grinnell in Old Town, Key West. OldTownBakery.com online. That's OldTownBakeryKeyWest.com online. Make sure you visit them at the historic location, Eaton and Grinnell. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Time for Glenn Beck.